I don't understand how that works because it's just
Beginning salary.
it's not the beginning though. It's 70% of every step and grade of the county attorney's salary plus the 1%. So
there's just like, I think we can work on it. Give me some time to think about it, and I'll see if I can give you some proposed language too. Because I think we all are on the same page of what you wanted to say, and we just need to make what the formula says. We need it to say what the formula says. So it's how do you put that formula into words?
okay. Okay, you're up live. You are recording.
Okay, we're starting our meeting with the county attorney regarding leases, contracts, and covenants.
Courtney, are you trying to say something? She's not muted, but and it keeps like coming in. Oh, there she goes. She muted herself.
Okay.
Do you want to know who's online?
Yeah, please.
Jake Strissel, Courtney Dietrich, and Kim Burke.
All right, do you have any questions? Harry?
Waiting for Jake to figure out he's broadcasting.
Yes, he is broadcasting his truck and some other stuff. So we'll see.
Oh shoot!
Yes.
Sorry, guys.
Okay. He's muted now.
Alrighty, so I'm assuming the meeting is for a timeline for these contracts to go out to the respective owners of the leases.
Water contracts were, and I think there was a confusion with the water contracts. Supposedly they were I don't know. Lacey.
So I think based on the conversation that the clerk and reporter, we were working on something else, and then Commissioner Atchison and I briefly touched base yesterday. Yes. I think we realized the confusion. My understanding was that the water contracts had gone out and that people were paying, so we quit working, my office quit working on them because you guys had sent them out. We realized that yesterday during our conversation that that's not what had happened, that it was simply that the bill had gone out but not the contract. Yep. So I will own that that's a conversation, just a mistake that I made, again, through conversations and through emails that read in such a way that I thought it was done, and then if you guys wanted something different, that would have been brought back up. So I have no problem getting the work done, but we stopped when that conversation happened. So I apologize for that miscommunication happened, but that's really what happened.
And then
so
time frame?
The contracts go out in January, right, Sherry?
Yeah, January, February.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the beginning of February.
So can I get a copy of the bill that was sent out so I know?
Yes, I will. I will send you I'll send you the letter that I sent out with the new price for acre per foot.
And then, so is there a bill that went with that, or how are you tracking payment of those?
There's a tracking sheet for payment, so once those all get out and people start signing them, I'm going to add their names into that list. I'm guessing we need to wait for a contract to come in before we bill them.
No.
No?
Nope. DNRC said to send out the bills because we could release that water as a county.
Yeah, but for upcoming year 27, should we have a contract and signed?
Everybody should, because contracts have all expired now.
Yeah, they're not an every year thing. It's what you doing for like 2 or 3 years.
Every 2 years.
Every 2
used
years.
to be.
So I can get you a template of what I put in for wording for it went up to 20 acre
Okay, so
foot,
you want,
right, foot acre.
the contracts, you want them to be for 2 years. The cost is now 20,
Instead of $10.50
and that was per,
a meeting.
do you know the date of that meeting?
Well, meeting, clerk and recorder budget meeting, I think. Which day was that?
Last week.
Last week? I think it was the 13th. As of July 13th. Letters went out on the 23rd after they were signed. So I already sent the notice that this price increase was happening.
And Lacey, I have on my notes that was the 20th of July.
Okay, 20th. I couldn't remember.
Yes.
We rescheduled my budget meeting so many times.
So on the 20th of July, the
Increase.
commission approved the increase
From $10 to $20.
From 10:50.
to 20, right?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay. And that was on a meeting on July 20th of 2026. Notice was sent when?
23rd.
27, 23. What is the effective date of the increase
As of the new year, so I think it's January 1.
of 2027?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be $10.50 for the rest of this year,
Mm-hmm.
January 1, 2027. It will be the $20 per acre.
Yeah,
Um,
and they already paid for this year, so this year's already paid for. For 26 paid for, 27 is not paid for.
so when do you want the contracts to go out?
January, February is usually when they go
Should
out.
they go out in January, no later than the beginning of February?
That's what I was seeing when I was going through and looking at stuff. It's like January, February.
Does anybody use the water in January and February?
No, it's usually just spring or mostly when the thaw, after the thaw. But it's mostly, I don't know.
'Cause the bills are
April,
due in May.
Right about May, they're starting to use it quite a
Their
bit.
bills are due in May, right?
Yeah, but we try to have them due by May 15th. Keep track of it all.
Okay.
Depends on the year.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that we didn't need to have the contract signed before 2027 started. I guess that was my, since there is no price change.
Oh, we probably would,
We probably would need to.
because we have new price increases. And I don't know why you wouldn't want that contract in place by the time they start using their allotment of water.
You guys just told me that you send them out in January and February, that's why I'm asking, because that's,
So when does the water start to get released? Like May? April, May
April or
time?
May.
So probably.
But I would want, we could send the contracts ahead of time so people have time to get them signed. I'm trying to think, I think they have to have them notarized.
Yes.
So that's gonna take a little time for people, so it'd be smart to send them out before the new year, and then when they want their allotment, then they'll get a bill for that at the adjusted rate of $20 per cubic foot of water. Cubic foot, I think is how it is.
Acre foot.
Acre foot,
It's weird.
yeah.
it's acre foot?
That's what I have on my notes, is acre foot.
It's acre foot. It's odd.
Okay. Did I get that to you
Okay.
already?
Yes, that folder's on my desk.
It has it in there.
Oh, look. It's acre
Yeah,
foot.
that's fine, no.
And right behind you is like our water leases. Right behind you in that drawer. So it kind of gives you the verbiage a little bit more. So,
It is cost per, number of acre foot.
Okay.
Or feet.
Did Tiffany move all the water contract stuff? It used to always be here. All of
I would
the.
have to look. I think the water contracts are out there. But.
So back to when you guys actually want them, when do you want to send them out?
I would say I would like them back no later than November, so we have time to get them prepared and sent out shortly after, and give them time to get it back in before the first of the year.
Yeah, that's why I was like, maybe we need to have contracts before we start.
Exactly.
So you want so you want to send them out in November?
Yes.
Preferably.
Okay. Is there anything specific that you want changed from the prior water contract language, other than the price?
Well, there was mention in there of, and that's how this originally ended up down in your department, was DNRC owns that water.
Yes.
They allow us to release it out through the county. That's why they're the ones that told us to go ahead and bill out this year, because we were releasing down. Last year we didn't get anything because we didn't get to bill out for it, even though it was being released down. So there's verbiage in there that needs to be looked at by you, because there was some kind of discrepancy of stating that we were the water owners in that contract, which I don't even know if it needs to even be in there technically, but DNRC is the actual water owner.
Okay.
And so there was some verbiage in there that just was being questioned, I guess. And that's why we wanted you to look at it.
So should it be on behalf of DNRC? Basically.
So, yeah, it's getting,
I don't know how we do that.
from what I understand, one of the issues is Montana is still apportioning water rights, and they don't expect to have a final decision on that until 2028.
Oh, wow.
It's water, that's why there's literally a whole court that just deals with the water in Montana. So it sounds like DNRC, like, yes, there are some changes. I think there are some modifications we need to make. But that's where, from what I'm understanding, DNRC is like, yes, you can release the water, but know that, like, we don't actually know who owns it, because the water court hasn't decided who owns it yet. So we're going on past precedent as to who owns it. I know, it makes everybody really uncomfortable to be like, well, we don't really know who owns this water. This one, well, no, I can't even say that. This is pretty safe to assume that it's going to be DNRC money, water, or our water. We just don't know until the water court decides. And DNRC said something like potentially in 2028 is when we might have an idea, but there's no guarantees. At least that was my understanding. That could be wrong, but that was me. So I'm just looking to see if I have a Word version.
I have it if you need it.
Yeah, so do I.
Need it to me to forward it to you. Email it to you fast.
I'm sorry, I'm going through some old. Oh, I have one.
Okay, you have it?
I think. Let me make sure that. Water purchase contract, Beaver Creek Reservoir. It's from 2020, it looks like. Is that the one that you all are basing this off of? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you have it?
Yeah. I just don't have it saved in the place I want it saved. Now, are you guys still doing the 3,300 acre feet? Is that still, has that number changed?
Can I see that paper, please?
Yeah, through there.
The one with the list, because it states it on there, but we are allowed to.
I'm assuming that's the number, but if it, just in case, if we're gonna redo this, let's redo everything and make sure it's accurate.
Have it. So we're allotted.
That's the total, I think, of what we.
Yeah, no, the older one says what we're allotted, so we know we can only go up to that total. This is the current total.
This one's for 20, and this is 23.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is all it is. Is there an older, go look and see? Let's go.
We're only allotted. The reason why we should know it is because when people come in and request additional acre foot or want to be added on, we can't go over that.
Right, that's why I wanna make sure that number is the accurate number still, and that it hasn't either increased or decreased.
The older sheets that I used to have had the actual what we were allowed and then what we carried. We were building out for under our contract. I'm not showing that.
Okay. I have 2020 and 21. But there's no, like, it's just total of what we have. Do we allot 100%?
So yes, so if you have any record of what Sue used to get from the commissioners when we'd always have to take that over and give it to the clerk. It was the total amount that was allowed and then what we brought in as the county. And it would have the acre foot and the dollar amount. Bethany used to keep track of all that. I don't know where that paperwork would be.
I don't even remember that because when I was doing.
And it
So
was
it's
something we had
talking
to turn in when we got all of our payments for the year. We had a deadline. That information got turned in.
Bless you.
She had track.
In 21, I didn't even do it, so I don't know. If it stopped somewhere.
And I know Sandy knows it because she's the one that receives those payments and she's also very aware that we only have a certain amount of acre foot.
We just need our contract to say the correct amount.
So we might have to check. She'll have it somewhere in her documentation. We used to also have to get that information.
Yeah, no, that's why I'm asking, because I don't wanna just leave contracts alone, because it's, like, this one says that we have acquired the right to store, control, or divert 7,230.
3,300 acres.
Yep, So the parties here too, that the total water in which Hill County is entitled will be at least sufficient to provide water purchase.
This is what we do, so this is the contract that I'm modifying.
Yep, and this is what we're allowed for that 3,300 acre foot. We only bring in
16 something.
But we also, but see, this is the diversion, so do you see where I'm like,
Yeah,
I just wanna know, is it the 7,000, the 3,300, like where?
Is that how much it is though? Is that the dollar amount?
No,
that's what's stored.
Oh,
We can store up to that amount, but we are only allowed to let down and use this amount. And we don't have up to that yet.
And those numbers are still, my question is, are those numbers still accurate?
that's what the contract with DNRC was for.
That's what we were talking with DNRC
And
about.
I think DNRC last year said we could keep that in order to do what we do. So,
Okay.
that's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's kind of muddied right now.
Okay.
No one can see the conservation.
We can.
So we are only allowed to draw down 3,300.
Yeah, but we can store 72 something.
7230.
That's just what we can store,
Okay,
but we can let down that.
30,000, okay.
And it says it's pursuant to the water appropriation filed in June 28, 1973. So,
That's,
like Lacey's saying.
But they allowed us to release what we had, water, last year at that, a max amount.
It was renewed on March 11th of 2020 and valid until September 17th of 2024. And I'm pretty sure that's why this has come back up again.
Yeah,
Last
Probably.
year and the year before.
yeah.
No, I have one from 20, that's why I was just going through all the pieces that if things have changed, I just wanna check numbers with you guys. Because it's easier to do it while we're all here and we have set aside time. Other changes will probably be minimal, but things like that. You guys expect payment on April 1st, is that still accurate? That's the payment date you want?
I thought it was May.
It's usually by May. If it comes in after May 15th, then they get a charge.
Okay, so then we need to change this contract, so.
Would you have to change it every year in case May 15th lands on a weekend?
Yeah, you have to look at the date.
Yeah, no, this says that it should be on April 1st of 2020 and on April 1st of each year thereafter, up to including April 1st of 2024, the water purchaser shall pay Hill County. So the due date is actually April 1st in here. If you guys want to change it, that's fine, but I want to
I
make
think they
sure.
got late fees after May 15th is usually what we always did.
Yeah, I think
So,
that's what the letter said.
Do we don't have a reference to a late fee in here that I've seen.
Okay.
So if you guys want a late fee,
Add verbiage,
we need to add that
Yeah.
verbiage.
yes.
Um,
And would it be clear to say the first week in April? So the first
no, we want a date
a
specific.
date, okay.
April 1st is a Thursday for 2027.
As long as it's a business day.
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's on the weekend, if they come in and pay it
On Monday.
on Monday, it's still acceptable as they paid it on that date. But that's why I think you usually give them that month and a half of like,
Mm-hmm,
let us get everything in and then,
correct.
so what is the late, so a late fee will be assessed.
I have a percentage, I think.
I thought it was 10%. I could be wrong.
Interest will be charged to all contracts. Interest will be calculated monthly. That's all it says on this bill.
Can I see?
May 15th.
Yeah, we have to tell them the interest rate that we're charging, like,
I doubt it.
that was for our revenue, so. If you get out.
Would it be along the same lines as a plate, or excuse me, a tax assessment late fee?
That ranges,
Okay.
because then there's also other fees attached to that.
Mhm.
And it's set by state, isn't it? Isn't that fee set by state?
Yeah,
Not county?
yeah.
Okay,
There's like a 10% penalty plus all the late fees. There's additional late fees on top of the penalty.
so what are we charging as a late fee? Is, I think she's asking for us concrete.
Yeah, because it just says will be calculated monthly.
Mhm.
To be honest, all the years I did it, I only had one person that didn't come in on time, and I called them and they came right up and paid the, I don't know that we ever had to give a late fee for anything.
We probably haven't, but
Yeah,
it's
don't have it
all of a
set.
sudden when it
Now
starts
we have
happening
to,
and we're
yeah.
like, oh, we don't actually have anything enforceable in our contract.
Yeah.
Yes,
So the percentage, she asked me what the percentage would be. I have no idea because I've never really had to give a late fee.
I mean,
You know, a charge for late fees. So percentage wise,
10%
I couldn't tell you.
probably isn't terrible.
I think 10% is fair.
Yeah, because I mean, on $300, it's $30.
yes,
So,
and I'm agreeing with that. That sounds like it's steep enough to bring them in to pay.
and I
the-
think after May 15th, that late fee is calculated, right?
Like I said, usually when they come up on their late, like by the 15th, all I had to do was call and they came right up and paid a check. So I never had to apply any late fees. Never charged anybody for it.
Okay.
It was just always included in the bill, just so people knew. The people are really good about it, so.
So I guess this will be a heads up for you guys. What I will do then is I'll structure this to include a 10% late fee.
Perfect.
That first application of it will be due May 15th. So if they don't come in and pay by that April 1st date, let's say they don't come, they'll get a grace period.
Yes.
So if you do call them and say, hey, you're gonna get a bill on, we're mailing bills out on May 15th for people who haven't paid. That gives them essentially a month and a half kind of grace period to come in and pay.
And then it's at 10% per month, so we will bill them every month on the 15th with the additional 10%.
10%.
Yes.
Okay.
At least that's what I was understanding you guys wanted. Is that?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. It says a guideline anyways.
Yeah. You just, so then they'll come, okay, so back to the old process of they'll come in here, give us a check, we'll check them off the list, the check goes to the treasurer. Correct? They'll come see me and I'll check them off the list, so then we know which ones are actually, so we're not just billing people late fees and getting phone calls saying, hey, I actually did pay with so-and-so.
I always requested a 101 so I could put it with their documentation. And then we had proof in the, our folders that those people paid, their 101 came with it, so
Okay.
it showed them.
Yeah, I was taking a copy of the check and then the date and time that they dropped it off. But I haven't seen any for a while, so. But I think they were just going to Sammy and paying, which is fine.
Because we do have some cases where married couples are no longer married and spouses are paying for those people's, I don't know if it's part of their divorce agreement. So there's those kind of situations that happen. And then some are paying for like their fathers that are a little older, but they're on that land and they got the water, they're using the irrigation. So there's little weird situations like that out there that I always felt it was a safety net to have that 101, so it showed that whoever paid for it, it got paid.
I'm glad you guys set on 10% because I looked further down and it does actually say 10%. So good job. I'm going with 10%.
Well, that's what I said. I thought it was 10%.
It just doesn't say on the bill, it
It
just says,
doesn't say, yeah,
not in the
like
bill.
there's some weird,
so
so.
we'll
No.
probably fix the bill.
We've covered ourselves at least.
Now, here's my question. It's just kind of in a weird spot. So just so you know, when you get this contract back, I will probably move things so that the things that belong together, like, hey, here's what it costs and here's the penalty, like those should be together.
Yes.
This 10% is actually with like, hey, this is where you pay. So it's just kind of an odd
Okay.
shift. My question on where you pay is, it says payments are to be made to Hill County, so I'm assuming that means like the check needs to be written to Hill County, in person at the Hill County Courthouse. I think it, and you guys tell me what you would like. To me, I would want it to specify who that payment, which office needs to receive that payment, because the way this reads the courthouse, like, yes, technically they could come to my office, because my office is in the courthouse, and be like, here's my water contract payment, not that my office would take it, but which office do you want it to go to? Do you want it to go to the treasurer? Do you want it to go to the clerk and recorder? Do you want it to go to the auditor? Who?
Probably whoever's billing them out.
So it should go to the commissioners. From there, we take the check over to the treasurers because it has to be coded with a certain line item that she
Yes.
deposits them. And then once that process is done, then the 101 is kicked back to the commissioners for our records.
But it's in the old executive administrative assistant job description to bill out. So that's the other part. If I'm doing the billing, but I don't know if somebody's paid, then I'm gonna send a late fee bill on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So we should come to the
the clerk and
recorder's,
recorder is where you want the payment
because
made?
the clerk and recorder
Our
can give them a
clerk of our
receipt.
board of commissioners is who
Yeah.
it should go to,
Yeah.
is to the clerk.
So is that what you want, is that how you want me to phrase it, as clerk of the board?
I would do that.
Yeah.
And then you're not having to try to train whoever over there on the whole process
Yeah.
too. It's just done through one person and you
And it will
know.
always be the clerk of the board, which is your clerk and recorder. So
Okay. So I'll put that in there.
they may not know who the clerk of the board is. Can you put clerk and recorder?
But then they're just gonna think anyone in that office. Well, you could say located in the clerk and recorder's office.
That's just, I mean, people don't refer to me as clerk of the board. That makes,
I could put payments made to the clerk of the board in the clerk and recorder's office.
Correct.
And again, I'll give you guys a draft.
I just don't want to confuse people.
I don't either, that's why I wanna make sure they know where to go to pay, because honestly, if I would've gotten this, I would've thought I just needed to go to the treasurer to pay. So, payments made in clerk of the board.
Yeah, because it does state pay to Hill County
Yeah.
on the bills, so.
Yep. And then, but then we track, you guys, the secretary, the executive administrative assistant was tracking who paid. So it's hard to track when they drop it off somewhere else.
So then it's mailed to, who do you want mail to be addressed to? Do you want it to just say clerk of board
Yeah.
on anything that gets mailed?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the mail lady now.
Yeah. Either way, we'll figure it out.
You're gonna see it before anybody.
And you guys are still okay with the commissioners approving the measuring devices? Or has that been shifted to somebody else?
No, we do it.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if I knew that the DES coordinator has taken on some additional duties, so I wasn't sure if that was something that had gotten shifted to that.
That's why we have a piezometer.
They have the digital, whatever, measuring, because they have to. You guys used to have to go out and measure. That's why you had a dam tender. You do the measuring, yeah,
Well, he never really did.
yeah.
Couldn't find out.
And then who do they need to provide the record of acre feet utilized to in November, or by November 1st?
Probably should just go with their contract, right?
It would, well, because their contracts were like 2 years, I believe. So when that gets sent out in their bill, it'll say that information in there and that amount, what they're owing. And you usually send 2 of them, and they'll send one back. Actually, that's a whole totally different sheet where they record what their acre or their acre foot is that they utilize through the season. They're supposed to send that back with payment, with their payment. I'm just going off of how it was done.
Yeah, no, that's
From
why
when I
go.
came in 2017.
Okay. Because what this says is that at the end of each irrigation season, so each year, no later than November 1st, each user shall provide a record of the acre feet utilized in the previous year. So, come November 1st, you guys should have received a stack of logs saying this is how much I used. And it says the water purchaser must provide to Hill County a log showing the time and rate of flow of water that was used.
Correct.
Have those been getting turned in?
Those, when I started way back as the executive assistant back in 2017, the people sent it in with their payment for the upcoming year.
So,
And I don't know why they did that, but they did. They sent it in then to
I have not
show
seen
what
one.
they used last year. So no, I don't know where that sheet is anymore. It used to go out with the bills. I don't know what it's happened in the last couple of years.
So do you want to change this to make it reflect what's actually happening, or do you want to leave it the same and just again go with education and enforcement with this November 1st date?
Because the usage updates their contract, correct?
Well, they just write down what they thought they used. The thing is that nobody's really tracking it.
Mm-hmm.
There's no instrument that's recording the amount of water they're bringing in or that we're putting that certain people are getting.
Mm-hmm.
Until we get some kind of tracking device set on all those people, quite honestly, they can write anything down.
I thought that was part of the contract, is it says that, yeah, the water purchaser agrees to install a water measuring device at the point of diversion. So each owner should have a water measuring device.
Where they take from the source.
Yeah, and the commissioner, that's what it says, that the commissioners are the ones who are approving that these water measuring devices exist and are approved. So have you guys
I can't
been
speak on
approving?
that. I don't. Yeah.
I don't think so. I haven't seen anything about the stuff I've pulled in the
Nope.
last couple of years.
And my understanding was there was not watering monitoring devices on most of these people's. That was something we wanted to do, but I had no idea it was in the contract already.
Yeah,
Unless
it's
it got
already-
added in the 2020 version one.
Oh, it's in here.
I
Yes.
know.
I was like, this
So-
one I haven't edited at all, which is why
I
I'm
know.
going through it with you guys.
So, yeah, I don't know what to say to that.
Maybe it needs to be enforced for
Correct.
fiscal year 27 or water year 27. So,
I mean, it's absolutely a good idea, but who's gonna go out and check all these?
Well, it says the commissioners. That's
Yes.
why I asked you guys if you were okay with this, because it says specifically Hill County commissioners are doing this work.
I think the dam tender should be doing it.
We do not have a dam tender.
Ultimately, then it falls back on the commission.
Correct.
So, yeah,
So I
I
guess
would
the
put-
verbiage should state Hill County Commissioners,
unless no dam.
unless there is a dam tender. Or the dam tender on behalf of the Hill County Commissioners.
So just to, again, double check, you guys want to keep at the end of the season, so no later than November 1st, the users need to be turning that back in. So I'd say probably in September, September 1st, send out a letter to all of the people saying,
Check your usage.
yeah, if you haven't, like, if you're done, I'm assuming everybody's done by September 1st? I don't know, does anybody go into October?
Sometimes. We have,
'Cause,
Submit.
yeah.
we have.
Okay, so then I guess I would go October 1st, send out that reminder like, hey, by next month, you have to turn in the record of acre feet utilized. Because nobody should be taking water after November 1st is that everybody's understanding?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, timeline of what you guys are looking at. Um, ah. When would you guys like to review and approve a draft contract? With the edits.
Would it be able to be done by the end of August? So that all the contracts are available? Because I'm assuming that all the contracts, they're separate contracts for each individual person.
Yes. I think it's just a name change and the acreage is changed.
And you have to, their property descriptions.
Yep.
You have to change as well.
This was 10 acre feet. That's over 325,000 gallons. That's a lot of water.
So, do you want to see the draft contract by August 1st? Is that, not August 1st,
Well,
sorry, I was like,
the end-
August 1st is not going to work because
Nope.
that is Friday, I think. Or
Yeah.
something.
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
So give me the date in August that you want.
Probably by the 31st.
31st sounds good.
Or do you want it on the 28th so you can talk about it in a working session on the 31st?
That way we can, we'd have to be in the morning so that we're done before 2. And earlier in the day. Are you able to do the 28th?
Of August?
No, she send them to me August 28th, and you guys can look at them.
Okay.
And then you
We're
can talk about them.
working, okay,
Yeah.
I thought we were going over them on the 20th, okay.
No, this would just
Okay.
be like me making sure it gets to Lexus so she can get it to you
Perfect.
guys.
No.
For your review, because I'm not perfect, I make mistakes.
No.
And I wanna make sure you have a chance to actually like go through where I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna move some of this language, that you guys know where that language moved. That it says what we've discussed here today.
August 28th, so you can review them in the working session on the 31st.
So that'd be review on 8/31 and possible approval as soon as September, what would that?
3rd.
And then that would give, if you guys approve it, that would give the clerk of the board until approximately 2 months to get them
Everything
all
typed up.
typed up and then mail them out in November.
Yeah, because budgets are also due ours due the 3rd, so we'll have a preliminary budget on the 31st. I'm waiting for you guys, so there's quite a bit that gets done that week.
So what would need to be implemented into the contract is the name.
Legal
and their
address.
acre, their address, but the acre and the amount.
Yeah, and then their legal description.
Their legal description, yeah.
Yeah, that's all the stuff I've seen from working in them for a little bit. Just looking at them because I haven't done them before, so.
I will get those changes made. I should be able to get that to you by the 28th. Shouldn't be a problem. I just want to make sure I'm gonna try to figure out what to do with that DNRC language. Because if I need to find that that it was valid until the 2024 date, so now I need to figure out if we can just put in 2028. I don't know that they'll let me, but I'll see what I can do to get that figured out. But a month should be long enough to get that figured out.
So contracts will have to be, the price will be $20 per acre foot for 2 years unless we change the contract, right? For it to go in effect of 29 for a new acre foot price. Since we put the dollar amount in there.
We have to go with the 2-year contract.
Yeah.
And do you guys want to stick with a 2-year contract? Is that? Well, because this actually looks like a 4-year contract. The one I have is 4 years. It's from 2020 to 2024.
Oh, well, maybe it is. Maybe I'm thinking of our land leases that are 2 years. And some of those vary even.
Yeah.
Some are 3, some are 5. It just,
I think every 2 years is probably good, so you're not doing it yearly, but 4 years I think might be too long. Unless you want to do it yearly.
I would say this is a lot of work. Think about how many you have to change.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
Because
30.
you're putting in names and
people.
I mean,
descriptions.
I think it's like 30 or something.
yeah, that's not too bad.
But I think about it in your overall workload. So you're like, oh, 30 is not that bad, but this is one project that requires 30 separate documents to be created. So realistically in your schedule, when do you have time every 2 years to do that, or does it need to be every 4 years?
I understand where you're coming from, and I think that's why it was put that 4 years. However, I think that's how things started falling through the cracks with commissioners changing out every other year. And when Lois Ann passed away, we had several different secretaries coming through, and I think that's how that kind of ended up lapsing on a lot of those. So to me, if you do at least 2 years, you got your eyes on it at least every 2 years, whether you change it or not. But I understand where you're coming from too, that every 4 years is, you know.
It's
can
not
do it
my
every 4
workload, I
years
just
and
want you guys to, like, that's the piece that I think needs to be considered is
I have to do it and I have a heavy workload.
yes, and this is gonna be election
It is.
years.
It is.
So that's why I'm wondering, is it better to,
But every 4 years is an election year too.
oh, no, I'm not talking about the every two, but I just mean, is it better, so we don't forget about it, to put it on, like, you know it's the general election year, or you know it's the federal election? Like, that's, I'm just trying to think of, like, how to make it memorable so that it doesn't slip through the cracks.
I think federal is better. That's every 2 years, no matter what. The
Okay.
regular general election is it's odd. So I have an election every year, but if the city doesn't file for one, I don't have one in my odd years for a general in November. So easiest to remember, it's every 2 years or every even year. So 2 or 4. But I think it should be every 2, just because we went so many years without changing the price. And I've already got some hate mail and some hate phone calls.
Really?
Yeah, people are not very impressed. I was like, that's why we sent the letters 6 months in advance, I'm sorry. And he said, no, I get it, but why? I'm like, well.
Hasn't been changed and we wanna.
I'm like, it hasn't been changed in a long time. And he's like, well, that's a lot. I'm like, sorry.
Gotta employ a damn tender somehow.
And it's not even gonna be you're not gonna be able to employ a damn tender in 2 years.
You're gonna have to increase your fees almost every year.
So I will change that, so it's a 2-year contract instead of a 4-year contract. I don't care, I have no skin in the game, I don't care what number you guys pick, I just wanna ask the questions.
Yep.
And make sure we get everything done. Okay.
I think even years are better, but maybe I'm crazy. But I just roll. I know I have an election every even year, so it's one thing I can remember to do.
And quite honestly, you could go out to your calendar today and go 2 years out and schedule it,
Yeah.
notice.
And that's what
water
I'm
irrigation
gonna end up
contracts
doing.
do, or whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Give yourself
Well,
a note.
Let's say, that'll give you something to do on election night when you're just sitting around. You can be like, okay, someone's working on the,
We don't sit. We sleep on the floor, face down.
because you want them out in November, so that it just
Yes.
works to get those contracts out.
It'd be a nice project for my Saturday. Working day, full 8-hour day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, any other things that you guys can think of that, to help make sure that this doesn't get missed in the future, that everybody gets on the same contract thing? Same schedule, I guess that's the right way of saying it.
Yeah, and that's another part of it. I think having all these renewed and gone out, it's gonna have them all grouped together unless you have your new ones that come in on those odd years. But I think there were so many staggering ones. You did have to look at them every year because you had to really stay on top of whose was expiring.
Yeah, some of them expired in
And you had to
23, some
renew
of them
them.
expired in 24, there was 22.
Yeah. So
If they all expire the same year, then make it easy.
I think everybody's on the same schedule then.
Okay.
Except for the
Instead of
new
staggering them.
Well, and even then, what I would suggest, as a new person comes in.
You do, like if they come in 1 year into it, do a 1-year
One-year
contract,
Yeah.
renew it, and then do a 2-year contract when everybody's being renewed, so it's not
Yeah.
like we're doing with Bill Lanier's position.
Yeah, no, I
Like
really, that would be my recommendation in the future, and I hope the commission would be okay with that. I do think that would be a better process of, we want to keep everybody on the same schedule, so some people might only have a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's reasonable.
Because there's nothing that requires us to do 2-year contracts, or 4-year, whatever we can
Yeah, you just have to, if they,
modified as needed.
yeah. Their contract end date will be the same as everybody else, no matter when they come in. If they come in 6 months down the road, after, it's still gonna be that 28 deadline or 29 deadline.
All right, there's water contracts. Do you want to stop there for today and make sure that this one gets done, and then we can get into the other, the
Covenants.
covenants?
Well, the land leases are another concern because we have some coming up that are due this time of year. Some were due in March already. I believe Verplugens is due right about now, August, September. Petty's, I believe theirs is the same kind this fall. Well, actually, I think it was already due this spring. So I think those really need to be addressed because we have people coming and calling and coming into the courthouse and asking about them.
Who all
The
has
land
land
leases.
leases?
It used to be Inman, Mark Stolen, which is Petty. Am I saying that correctly? Petty?
Jason?
Yeah,
Jason
Jason.
Petty?
Verplugen, Smith. There's one more.
Torgeson's?
No, that's for the egg industrial. There's one more. There's a folder for them.
So,
Verplugen, what was the last one you said?
Ron Smith,
Smith.
he's out in the,
But doesn't Tillman's ag equipment,
they just renewed their lease with their attorney. Their attorney handles that, and theirs comes in monthly. It's not a year lease, it's a monthly, 7,000.
Yep, that's, yeah. So, do we have a copy of that new lease then?
Yes.
Okay.
Petty's doesn't expire till 2027. At least based on what you sent me. It's from November 1st of 2024 to through 2027.
I don't know why he's questioning that.
I don't know either, that's what I'm just, this was just that email
Was he
you
the
sent me,
one
being
that
like,
was
"Here's
trying to
Jason."
give it to somebody else?
Oh no.
I remember this conversation briefly, but I don't remember everything. I'll have to look.
So do you want this lease to look more like the water lease? Do you want to keep it this simple? Is there anything that you want to see added or taken away?
No, all I know is that Tiffany had them sent down to you because they were contracts. Some of them had expired and that you should look at them. And
I think I have the
I don't know
email
that
chain.
any have gotten sent out since. So
No,
we're
that's
losing
what-
revenue.
Part of, I mean, so I can look at things and say, well, it's a land lease.
Yeah.
But you guys are the ones who make, that's why I'm sitting here asking you things like on the water contract, like, okay, who do you want it sent to? You guys make those decisions. I shouldn't be making the decisions about terms. I make suggestions, I give you guys advice, but I really need you to assist me in saying, like, these are the things that we want in this contract, or in these leases.
Have you seen any? of them?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so,
I wasn't aware of any changes to be made other than nothing. I don't know why they got sent
So,
down to
you guys are happy.
To be reviewed, so I just know that they did, and we haven't gotten anything back. If there's been any changes, revisions, thoughts, nothing. And
Okay.
so,
are you still wanting, I don't know, are they all the $50? Is that any lease? Or,
oh no, they're different amounts.
okay.
They have different acreages.
I can go look in my
Each one.
folder and that Tiffany has saved and see what it all.
Yeah, they're all broke down in those
Yeah.
land leases. contracts that they have with those people.
So I guess that's the question is, do you guys want to adjust your amounts like you did for the water contract? Do you want to keep it at $50? I don't know. I don't know how that decision was made, and I don't care, again, that it's not for me to set the dollar value. That's a commission question. But it doesn't really do much for me to look at the lease if I don't know that you guys want to change it, because otherwise I'm going to probably send you back pretty much the same thing and be like, here you go, because I don't know what changes you all might want to see, that whether it is the dollar amount. On this one, again, I probably will go with what we did here in the water contract, where it's like the payments need to be made to the clerk of board.
No, the land payments do get made out to Hill County, and it usually does go to the treasurer for those. They can come in a commissioner's office and make them out, but they ultimately make it out to Hill County, the check. So
Right, I mean, that's what they do on the
that
water.
one went different,
So yeah, that's why we want to make sure the process is
consistent.
either consistent or we have it laid out who they're doing, like who it needs to go to. Because if the lease payment needs to go to the treasurer, then just looking at this, my suggestion would be like put in here, make the payment to the treasurer.
I think it was Hinkle. Mr. Hinkle was another one.
So
I think
this
that's
one,
the fifth one. So I'm in favor of that, if we make them consistent, so like the payments come in to the clerk of the board, or however you want to state that. But ultimately, the checks need to be made out to Hill County. Because there again, the commissioners have to submit it with a line item, so 101 can get kicked back.
You have, what I can see, there's like 3 or 4 land leases, and one of them was just signed in 25.
For Pelugan?
Boyum.
Oh, Boyum was another one. That's who I'm thinking of. I was thinking Hinkle, but it's Boyum that's over there
Yeah.
on the north side.
will you accept payment? Does payment have to be made in person, or can it be made in mail, like the water contract? What is your?
It's been done both ways, so it can be made by mail.
There's also a recording fee for them, because they're required to be a recorded document.
What is?
Land
you should be-
leases.
So
Oh,
that should be updated, because I'm assuming that change has to be recorded in those leases.
yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're recorded documents,
Okay.
because it's a transfer of land for an extended period of time. So once the lease expires, the lease is still on record, but it goes back to Hill County.
What's the fee for that? Does it change?
$20 for the first page, 10 for every page afterwards, plus a $10 non-standard. It doesn't mean non-standard. Standard document requirements. So
So shouldn't all these leases just be standard documents?
they're not. Nope.
Okay, explain to me why. I don't mean to be difficult, but I don't understand
So
why.
a standard document is 3 inches from the top. 1.5 inches on each side, the left and the right, and 1/2 inch from the bottom. The leases are not 3.5 inches from the top, so they're non-standard. And then if I have to charge for an additional page to be able to sticker and stamp.
So can we
That's a
make them
format,
standard?
You can, you should,
Okay, that's where I
It's
was
just a
like,
formatting issue. Right
but they're
there.
not standard documents right now. And there can't be any color, it can only be black and white, or black and blue. And there's usually maps attached to them that are in color.
Oh, I've never seen a map attached.
The one I just pulled has a map attached to it.
Oh, weird. Yeah, I've never seen one.
We don't want the map, because we don't care about the map.
okay. So,
Because if you're putting the land description.
Yeah, we
that
don't need the
parcel,
map.
You don't need a map.
Mm-mm.
yeah, I was gonna say, it says a tract of land, for this one, it says a tract of land located in north 1, 2, southeast 1,
Yeah.
4,
Yeah, the north
section
half of
4,
the southeast
township
quarter.
30. to.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all we need. We don't need maps, and they have to be
Boyens
notarized.
is fairly new in the last 5 years, so maybe that's how that
Yeah.
happened, but I have never seen a map attached or
Yeah, it
even
was
like
attached to
the
the
files.
Boyum one, so,
Yeah, I've never seen
but we don't want the map.
Huh.
But if we make them standard, then it's $20 for the first page and $10 for every page after that.
that. Yeah, that's formatting, that's.
Yeah,
easy
you
to
have,
fix.
you should honestly make them standard because the non-standard fee is, the recording fee is crazy expensive now.
Okay,
It's
so
like $300 for a mortgage.
that, you said 3.5 inches from the top?
3 inches from the
3
top,
inches.
1.5 inches from each side, and then 1/2 inch from the bottom.
1.5 inches one side, and 1 inch on the bottom?
1/2 inch
1/2 inch.
from the bottom. And only in black and white, no red, or black and blue.
Well, since we're the ones who generate this,
Hopefully nobody signs in red.
Nobody should be signing it.
Oh, oh, Lacey.
Hey, I'm colorblind, okay?
No, we're not making.
Right now, I'm having a hard time because my pen,
We had
switched
somebody
out my
sign in
ink
pencil.
And it's black, and I always write in blue, so it's really weird for me. So
We
I
had
don't-
somebody try to file a document that was signed in pencil. We're like, no, please sign in pen.
Is there anything on a notary stamp that is,
No, we're not allowed to question notaries.
well, would that, no, my question on that would be, their stamps are all blue, aren't they?
Yeah, so, but even if they came in like in a red stamp, we're not allowed to question it. Because some
Well,
states still use the embossed.
My question is, if it's red, do you then charge the non-stamp?
No,
Okay,
we can't.
okay, that
The
was,
notary page doesn't count. So, because sometimes they come in, they're the crib, like the,
I love
Embossed.
those.
Yeah,
Embossed. and
Yeah.
then we have to take an ink pad and darken it and then record it.
So they won't get charged when they file because of the notarized page.
The notary
Because I
page?
know on those documents, there's a whole entire page.
The page
But not
gets
two.
charged, but we can't charge them any extra fees. So it's $10, it's so
$10?
$20 for the first page, and then $10 for every page after that. We just can't, if it, like their stamp was in red, we can't charge that non-standard
yeah.
fee. So no extra fees.
But the notary pages you would
Yeah,
still charge.
yep.
Okay, so the payment to the clerk board,
And those probably need to be 2 separate checks if that matters. Because one stays with me until I do a deposit on the following Monday morning, and then one will go to Sandy for payment.
so that's why
So that's
they're gonna
new.
have to pay in person. What I'm thinking
Yeah,
we
that's
might
new.
wanna do, if you guys are okay with this, is provide a letter of instruction as we send it. Do you normally just send these leases out to the people that already have them, or how does this?
Okay, well, in the past, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think that's a good idea.
But send a letter being like, hey, please don't adjust the document.
Yes.
Please sign only in blue or black ink. No maps are necessary, given that the tract description is included. Please pay in person to the clerk of the board. You will need 2 separate checks, one for the recording fee, one for the actual lease fee. Anything else that you guys can think of?
No.
Not at the time. I think we should just leave their fees at where they're at, and then maybe evaluate that at a later date of if there's gonna be an increase or not. I think we just need to get these leases restored back, because I think some have lapsed.
Yes, some of them
So it's kind of important to get these
are
done.
signed from 24, but they're dated to expire in 23.
Okay.
Mhm.
We'll get it all straightened out.
Some of these leases were 8 years long.
Should never
how
have been
long
8
do you-
years.
I guess that's
Some,
the next question. How long do you want these leases for?
well, I thought Verplugens was 5 years. Ron Smith, I believe, was 3. So I guess we would kind of need to go look at their contract.
Honestly, they probably all should just be due the same time.
Because they know when they're gonna pay. They know, you know, they make their yearly payments, but they know how long they're gonna have that land leased out, so it makes a difference to them. Some of them are grazing on it, some are using it for whatever. So I really think you need to look at the contracts and see.
Again, it just goes back to that, then this is a thing that has to get watched.
Yeah.
Because these aren't all gonna be
Due the same time.
due on the same date. And I don't know if the commission wants to, if everybody's leases have expired. Do you want to restart it essentially and put them all on the same date, put them all on the same calendar?
I don't know on that one. Because some of it's used for farming, some of it's for grazing, some of it's, I don't know that it'd be a good idea to do every single one of them on the same, for the same period of time. Because they have them set up for whatever reason that way. I don't know. What's your thoughts on it?
I don't have a preference.
That's a tough
'cause
one.
This is new territory for me, so. Leases, to me, beginning of the year. Starting the beginning of the year, they normally go for a year, but
Do a year-to-year lease, and you have to look at them every single year.
correct.
Without
But
fail.
you have
Also, then
multiple
that
year leases.
gives, so,
Do you,
So many of them were set up so many years back, and that's just what their rotation was.
well, so here was my thoughts, and again, you could do a couple of different options. You could say, we'll do an every year lease. You could say, we're willing to do even year leases, and what I mean by that is you can have a 2-year lease, you can have a 4-year lease, you can have a 6-year lease, you can have an 8-year lease, you can have a 10-year lease, whatever the county wants to do. But that way it's always, again, we're looking at these even numbered years or the odd number. Like, does that make sense so that it's an easy
Track.
way to track it so that we know, okay, every odd numbered year we need to look at all of these land leases. Or if you want to do it 1, 3, 5, 7, it could be that, well, every odd year we're going to look at land leases just to help with that tracking. I don't know. You don't have to give me a decision today, just things for you guys to consider to make it easier in the future. So like, again, going back to those water contracts, you now know every 2 years, or really every federal election, the clerk and recorder better be sending out these contracts. Like, that's a really easy connection to make. Doing something, not necessarily that exact same thing, but again, we want it to be a consistent review time that just, it makes the leases easier to keep track of. Instead of always being like, well, we'll put it on a calendar, and then it's like, oh, but that calendar left with that person when they terminated their employment. So now when we're all those things due, like, we have to essentially reinvent
the wheel
again. And I guess an offshoot of that is it could be that the commission, if you guys, again, create kind of that one, this is the commission calendar, and it's not tied to a specific commissioner, and then all of these things can get put on there so it lives on forever.
I thought about doing that.
I don't know what the answer is. These are just things for you guys to think about and things to.
Yeah, a calendar that somebody can get for.
And also the fees, I would think you'd almost want to note something in there that the monetary value is not tied to the years of the lease. So it gives us the ability to say, yeah, we're going in and evaluating and we're going to increase our land use fees this year. And you know what I'm saying? So if someone that's coming in at $125, for example, for a 5-year lease, thinks that they're gonna get it for $125 for 5 years and that's never gonna increase. Well, there might be a time and a point where we do need to go in and reevaluate those fees. So I just wanna make sure that there's some kind of verbiage that's not tied to, their monetary amount is not tied to their years of their lease.
That should also probably be in the water contract
So what I would say,
too.
typically what they do with contracts like this is the language is that upon renewal, so you get to lock in that rate for the length of your contract. But once that contract's up, that number can be changed. Which is why like the water contracts, having them all go to the same cycle is really good, because then you can't just be like, everybody's getting the $10 increase at the exact same time.
And it's a shorter amount of time for those contracts, so you have that chance and opportunity in between to raise those if you want to.
Okay.
But if you have a 10-year
Well,
lease, then, then you're losing that ability unless someone opts out of that contract or sells their land and goes somewhere else, back to the county, I guess. So
so
kind
that's
of
up
what
to
you're
you.
saying too. I just don't want it tied to that.
We're gonna be
Possible.
tied in.
Maybe it should be every 2 years, just like the water leases then. Start new.
Yeah, I don't know. That's why, that's the good thing again about setting this really, keeping them a shorter lease. Like, sure, we'll go with a 2-year, maybe 3-year, but we're not doing 5-year, 8-year, 10-year contracts because we do want to have the ability to review these.
Yes.
So we'll accept the $50 for 3 years, but you want to do it for a 4th year, we want to be able to review and
Correct.
potentially increase that cost if we think the value of the land has increased by $5 or $10 or whatever the amount you think it's increased by. That's a decision for you all to make.
And that's, again, we can set those limits when we review these contracts, correct?
Yeah, I mean, and you can get really creative. It can be, you guys think of the contracts you guys go through for the different services that get provided to the county. So is it we want a 5% increase every year? I don't know that you want to do that because that land is going to get, if they have that land for 25 years, it's going to get really expensive for that person potentially.
Correct.
Does the land value go up 5% each year? So so you could do a percentage, you could do a dollar amount. So like every year you have this, we're going to raise it by $1 or we're going to raise it by $5. You can negotiate all of that. That can be in these contracts. But again, it's just another thing to track, to make sure that, oh, this person has this 5% clause, but this person doesn't.
Yep.
So you have to weigh, I feel like I'm 6'7". You have to weigh which one is more important to you. Do you want to see a yearly increase? Do you want to just have a flat rate? Do you want it to be for shorter terms? Do you want it to be for longer terms? All of that's negotiable.
I think these leases need to be looked at. I know several of them have not been raised in, well, I know one hasn't been raised in 20 years. So I think we, as a commission, do need to look at those and talk about them monetary. And I think it is wise to just stay with a shorter lease, like 2 or 3 years on land like that.
The even year.
Or even year, yeah.
Yep.
Not a big duration.
Contracts are fun.
Yes, no, that's, but you gotta get started somewhere.
Okay. What I will do is I'll put the default length at 2 years. Again, you guys can change this.
I think that sounds good.
still want to have the lessee maintaining fences? Is that, if it's like this one just happens to be for grazing, so there's fences, is that still what you wanna have happen, or do you wanna have that responsibility shifted to the county or anything like that?
I think that one's for a particular area. The one I'm thinking of out in Heron's Park is landlocked, so there's no reason to have a fence. They
And
can't,
again,
they
isn't
can't
there
have
some
fences anyway.
verbiage where if you're surrounded on all sides by different owners, they have a certain responsibility for a section of that fence?
Depends on where it's located. It's located
Correct.
in a HERB district. Some
But
HERB districts don't
The
require
leasee
fences.
maintaining the fence makes sense.
I just wanna make sure that you guys
Yes.
are okay with that term, and then again, I know they're used for different, this one just happens to be for grazing.
Yep.
So like farming, you wouldn't
Correct.
do that.
You're surrounded on all sides by your neighbors, so normally you share fencing duties, so.
Do you want to have that same 10% failure to pay?
Mhm.
Or
I think
late
that would be
fee?
good. It sets a boundary and it holds them to it. The lease people, they're the same. They come and tell us, hey, my lease is due. Here's my payment. Where's my lease? They're pretty good about it. But I think it just sets the same standard.
And that same 15th day of the month following payment is when it happens.
Of their anniversary. Yeah,
Yes.
because everyone pays a little different, or is set up differently. I guess if we do the leases all together at the same time, that might be different, but one's in the fall, one's in the spring, the other one's in the spring. Bones, I don't know. I don't really know a whole lot about that one.
Yeah, see, this is why I'm like, maybe we want to do these all at a similar time,
Yeah.
because otherwise it's like, oh, wait, this person's here, but this person's there.
I just have institutional knowledge about it, so I remember it, but nobody else does.
Yeah. It's all about succession planning. That's what the big things are now, is making sure that things are set up for succession. So that we don't have to just rely on institutional knowledge. It makes it easier. Is there anything that, besides non-payment, that you would want in here that allows us to terminate the lease?
Well, that's a good point, because we did have one lease that was used for farming, but we had the Fresno project going on, so they were gonna change out. I know Mark talked about, maybe talking to that landowner about changing a piece of their land for our land, swapping it for this project, because they were gonna store, I don't know, rock and gravel and all that stuff. They needed a spot.
And again,
And
like a 60-day notice or something like that, put in there, if we need to
so I know
terminate the lease.
that was talked about at one point, is having some kind of clause in there or something that we could take that land back if need be, or something, you know, of
Okay.
these kind of purposes. Of course, you'd want to have, like what you're saying, Perry, where you'd have so many days notice.
Correct.
Yeah, and we can't just swap land with landowners.
No.
That's what Mark was talking about doing.
There's one
I don't
tenant
think it
code in it
happened.
too. Yeah, there's stuff that dictates anything under 120 acres and with swapping land. Yeah, so
So,
land is something you'll get sued over very quickly. So
but it was brought up that, you know,
yeah, I remember that. And I
That
told
we
him you
need
can't do that.
yeah.
I was like, you gonna go hire a surveyor and yeah. I have people fighting over 6 inches of land right now. So
Okay.
we don't wanna go into that.
So I will get some language in there that just allows for terminate by either party.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that way, if someone can't pay it, they know that they have a way out. And then it'll have that language of like, this is who you provide notice to, this is how you provide notice, all that kind of stuff. Unless you guys don't want to make these more sophisticated contracts and leases. Like, I'm sure you all have, well, maybe you all haven't leased property before, but if you've ever leased anything, they can be really simple or they can be 20 pages long.
Messy.
And I don't know where you guys want to fall on that spectrum.
I think it needs to just do whatever's gonna save the county.
Yeah, so I think the more specific we are, the better off we're gonna be.
So it's gonna take me a little more time than the water contract, just because these leases are going to add, we're gonna have to add things that just don't exist, at least in the one I'm looking in. So, timeline-wise, what are you guys wanting?
Because I'm assuming Jason Petty wants his as soon as possible.
Yeah, like
His
last
isn't
month.
expired until 27.
And we have Verplugens coming up and, oh yeah, that's what it says on there.
That's the contract he signed. It says 27.
We have Verplugens coming up and then in the spring we start having more coming up. I say by the end of September, beginning of October.
Okay.
I'm trying to think, I thought Verplugens is November, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong. Maybe it was September. I don't have that file. So.
Are we gonna give them a 1-year lease to get them on the same page as Petty? So they're not rotating? Or,
That's up to them.
okay.
What you guys want to do. I can give you again, generic forms, as best I can, but you're gonna have to change again, if it's grazing or farming, are those the only two uses that people have on these leases, is grazing or farming?
As far as I know.
Okay. And not to complicate this further, but for these grazing leases, do you guys want to go with what the park board institutes in Beaver Creek Park? Do you want it to be the same cost where, I know that's not historically what has happened and people are probably gonna come at me with pitchforks for even suggesting that, but
Yeah, because isn't that per head?
yes.
I would say no.
Okay,
Because that's so controversial right now without that whole topic.
yes, but I just wanted to bring that to your guys' attention of, like, we have people that we allow to graze on county land in the park, and we charge them a certain fee, and if we're allowing people to graze on other county land at a different rate, something to keep in mind. Just gonna throw that out there for y'all.
Well, the park's the park. County land's county land. I would not touch that with a 10-foot pole. I wouldn't touch it that way.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
All I'm here for is to ask questions and to
Correct.
make sure you guys are okay with the differentiation. Okay, I will get started on these. And anything else you guys can think of that you want to talk about on the water contract or the land leases?
Unfortunately, no.
I think there needs to probably be another meeting in regards to the covenants to the agricultural industrial.
Okay, I'm just gonna tell you guys, that is a mess. That is not anything that's going to be resolved quickly. It is. I'm trying to think of a delicate way of saying this. It is just a really poorly designed covenant land use creation.
So my question is, do we have to have covenants at all? Can those just totally be thrown out? Because what I read from them, and I read Cascades County, they basically, whoever put it together drafted it off of like what was a template for a totally different county and city, not county related.
Since-
It's really weird, like you said.
Since it's a subdivision, usually there's covenants.
So do we have to have covenants is my
No.
question.
There,
Most no, but it depends because there's some subdivisions require them. And that's, the Ag Industrial Park is a subdivision.
Okay.
But the other
It's a
thing
major
is, these
subdivision.
covenants are set up for industrial and
because the
it's
county,
eggs. So that's another thing, it's not, they don't match. Like, can we throw these out and like really
So-
start over?
correct me if I'm wrong, the county owns the property,
County owns the land.
Correct,
right?
it
That's
was donated to them.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
And if I remember right from the conversation with Paul Tuss when he came in, there were no, when that land was donated, they wanted it to be used in this way, but it was pretty freely given, that there were no real restrictions given by the landowner when it was donated.
Nope,
So I would say that my advice right now, my answer to your question would be, yes, I think that we could potentially, depending on how it is zoned and how, on a larger zoning map.
You would have to look at the survey.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd have to go back and look at the survey, but there is the potential that, yeah, we could essentially re-deed it to ourselves, like you could do a quick claim, right? Because the county can do a quick claim to the
I
county.
can't tell you what,
I know, we would have to.
I
look
cannot
at the
provide
record.
any legal advice on whether to use a quitclaim deed or a warranty deed.
Right, so that's what I mean, it's like, we could look at those different kinds of deeds and be like, yeah, we could probably do that and just say, we're taking it from this and moving it to this. But that,
I
again,
don't think a deed would help you with that because it's a zoning regulation.
I know, and that's,
And there,
could
that's a
rezone it.
public, you can rezone it,
Yeah,
but
you
that's a
can
public
rezone it.
hearing, public meetings,
yeah.
every 30 days for 60 days or whatever.
So that's what I mean by it's messy, because it's like, which one is it? Is it just as simple as like, we're taking
It's-
off these covenants, but no, but then it gets into the zoning, so there's the zoning issue, how did it,
We can talk,
it took us a while to even figure out the zoning of it, because I'm trying to remember didn't we go look at it and it was like, wait, it was this, and then I got moved to this, and then I got moved
yeah,
back to
we
this,
pulled a
and then-
bunch of
so
stuff
the
and
covenants are basically written for what they thought it was zoned at, but it's actually zoned at something different. So the covenants don't even align with what the property
we
is
could also
for.
bring a title company in and have them do a title search on it and see what it comes to.
Yeah, so
Because they will be able to determine whether,
it's just a really big, messy project.
It's just, yeah,
That's,
not done very well.
I think if the commission has a plan, that would make it easier for the clerk and recorder and I to probably at least present you guys with more of your options, like, hey, here are the zones, like, here's how we can work with these zonings. But until you guys kind of know what you want to do with it, like, is the purpose of it to sell it? Is the purpose of it to
you're gonna have
create leases for it? Is the purpose,
to, if we're gonna sell it, you're gonna have a title work anyways, because you have to
Yeah.
have title insurance.
And
so,
we've lost out on so many sales already. People
So,
backed out because they read those covenants and they're like, no
So-
way.
I guess that's the thing, is like,
No.
if the ultimate goal is the sale of it, not the lease of it,
yeah,
we accomplish those things in two different ways, I think. I don't think you have to go through the same process
so,
for both, because the way I read it right now, it was designed more, I understand it says like, there's that weird language of like, you can sell a portion,
but it was designed to be leased.
but it was designed to be leased. So, I guess that's I would like the direction from the commission of, do you want to still go more that leasing route, or do you want to go the selling route? You could go the hybrid route, which is what they tried to do, but I don't think they did it very successfully.
No. And I can call and see if one of the title people are willing to help, because I think you're gonna have to look at it and see more of the title work versus the survey work, but
And my thoughts are on it, as
You
seeing
could
it
sell
as a
it, sell it.
business, is why would you not sell it and have it on the county books? As, you
Yeah, on the
know,
tax.
whoever owns that is gonna have to pay tax on it. But when we're leasing it, and we can't find anyone to lease it, the county owns that, we're not making nothing off that land.
You're actually paying the taxes on it.
Exactly. So to me, in all reality, why would you not just sell it? It will always forever be on your tax books then.
And I think you'll have a higher turnout rate of people wanting it and more competitive stuff.
Yeah, we already have people. that want
Yeah,
to buy it.
it's gonna get more competitive with a sell and versus a lease.
Yeah. So to me, it just doesn't make sense to try to lease out some ground. We're already going through that with a couple different buildings we have leased out in the county. And that's working out okay, but still, it's land. Sell it. It's forever on the tax books. It's gonna get sold to somebody else after it gets sold to this person. Like, whoever owns it has to pay taxes on it, period. And right now, nothing's happening. We're just sitting on dead land right now.
Commissioner Atchison, what is your, I know you're new to this and probably haven't looked at, I don't even know if you looked at
And
the
here's my
survey of
concern.
this map.
Okay, so we go for the sell option. Somebody wants to put a data center over there.
It's not zoned, I don't.
Since it's industrial,
But it could, let me go grab my book.
our growth plan, does that limit that?
No.
No.
Does any of our zoning regulations?
And we talked about that. is
Your
getting that
zoning
limit that.
regulations,
Might.
Might.
It depends on how, again, that land is
zoned.
Is there
We can't
access
do
for
a
people
commercial.
to have water and electricity there? Do they have to build their own power? What is the
It's already there.
access? The power's already there?
Have you seen it?
No,
Have you
that's,
seen- oh.
is it, over by the Northern Ag Research Center?
Yeah, it's right across from there,
Okay.
going north.
Okay.
It's, 3/4 ways in on that 82.
So
82,
after
I
you
think.
cross the railroad tracks?
Yep, right
On
there.
top, okay.
I don't actually know where the property is located, to be honest. Like, I just looked at the surveys and saying this is where it is, but I don't, like, physically, if I were to.
I
could
know,
drive
I
there.
know they had issues trying to get a person in there because the railroad did not want to maintain those tracks. It's a 5-mile-an-hour track. So, yep.
number 5, page 9.
So, yes, I agree with Perry on that we probably need to zone it to something that's, you know, like we did out east with that land, that was ag land. Where did it go to? Commercial 2 or something like that. Anyways, so it limits that, so we don't have someone coming in and doing a call center. We
Yep.
don't have the water for that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
This just
I want
says
business to
no
go there.
shall
Yeah.
be constructed or
But it still would
operated
allow
cause
for business.
excessive
Yes, I want
vibration,
business to go
smoke,
there, but I
dust or
want
other
appropriate for the area
particulate matter or
business.
toxic or noxious matters in the humidity, heat, or glare at the beyond the zoning district boundaries for industrial. Excessive,
And we did finally decide that this was zoned as industrial, right, after all of our.
yes, even if, even if it's zoned as ag, the agricultural exemption is like, it can't, agricultural can't be less than, a minimum of 10 acre lots. Building shall not cover more than 5% of the lot. So you can put a commercial building out there.
Not right now is the way it's zoned, right? Because it's under, I don't think it's industrial though.
It is, it's zoned
I
industrial.
think when we finally got down, because
There's no junkyards around.
I think we ended up deciding it actually was zoned industrial.
Okay.
Yeah,
But I don't quote me on that, but
because I think when we looked, it wasn't
Because it's
industrial.
very, very
Yeah, that's it.
muddy.
That's the plus.
Yes.
And then
It
this
should,
is the back
it should be
part
commercial.
where the railroad goes through, but there's this back swampy area,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot, I
Because-
believe.
And then
Quarter lot.
going right through here.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that's a tough piece.
And this,
Right, it's
this
not-
has the easement anyway in it, right here. It has your easement.
right there.
Yeah, commercial's
Yeah.
10.
Yep, so you really wouldn't be
goods
able
and
to use that.
services.
So these lots
Beyond
get really waterlogged in the spring. they could use that water for their call center.
No.
See, okay, so my notes. Says
So I'll get you
tax
a
roll
copy,
show the
please.
property listed as commercial, not industrial.
It just
I
seemed
think
like,
we just start over.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It just seemed like these covenants were wrote for something different than what
They were
they're saying
they were
this is
written
for.
for more commercial
Yeah,
leasing than in what I would consider industrial.
correct.
I
So-
think it's called the Industrial Ag Park, but it's not.
So to me, that in and of itself, the name is misleading too.
You have to do a whole survey to change the name.
Yeah.
And
Which we might want to do, again, if it is actually zoned as commercial, you should probably call it a commercial park, not,
Correct.
you could change the name to whatever you want.
I know, but that's,
Yeah.
But that sounds misleading.
Yeah, and so like, even if it was ag, you couldn't sell them by per acre. So like, so that's not well either, because it shouldn't say.
And I think that's why we're getting people coming in. It's bringing in the wrong clientele that's looking for that
Yeah,
type
they
of
want
land
per
because they're looking at the title thinking, oh, this will fit my needs, I should be able to get this. But it's not once you start looking at the covenant.
I mean,
And then my question for you, Sherry, the proposed railroad lines are, there's no moving forward with that?
No access to it, no.
Okay, because it says that there's proposed railroad
They don't even use
lines
that line anymore.
on that lower part here.
That
so-
was their hopes and thoughts when they
Yeah.
first created this, but that is not the case. They don't use that railroad line
I
anymore.
think it just needs
Okay.
to be redone. Whether you have
That's what
covenants
I
on the
think.
property or not have covenants on the property, you just sell it.
Or make it so that we can just sell all the, or whatever lots, just sell them.
Yeah,
Get them
but
on the
any,
tax.
you're gonna have to either, if someone doesn't want a full whatever lot, are they 10-acre lots or 20?
They're all different sizes.
Because you got
So-
110, a couple fives, basically 4.8 and 4.6. Another 10, but you got that right away from the railroad.
Right.
So they're quite
So they,
different.
yeah, so that's the only other thing is like, you can't, you're not gonna be able, you have to, if you wanna leave them like this, that's fine.
Well, like I was saying last summer, and that person came to me that wanted to buy all of it. They wanted to put up storage and ones that were big enough for big campers and smaller enough for people, because there's nothing around.
Correct.
There's nothing for camper storage, there's nothing for boat storage, there's hardly any storage.
Cause what is it,
And what would that do out there? Nothing,
Correct.
you know?
It's not gonna
Harm
bug anybody.
nothing. No.
except that it crosses, oh, the railroad tracks.
On the south, yeah.
Yeah, I need a copy.
Do you want a copy of that one too? Just this one?
Yeah, just that, yeah.
This one and this one.
Yeah, Boy. This was turning into an adventure that I did not expect.
Always send me that.
Thank you. All right.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
Big old mess here. So yes, I have notes here per when Paul Tess was here, absolutely no restrictions to altering regarding Mr. David Vandergren. And that was per Paul on 5/29/2025.
Yeah.
that's what my notes say. Okay, so what I have right now is,
Yeah, I have
just generally,
that.
and I'm not gonna hold you guys to this as like a must happen, but just to give me guidance, that you wanna structure this land for sale, not lease, that you wanna you're really considering removing essentially the covenants, but you wanna limit the ability for a data center to purchase it or to build on that land. Is that?
Correct.
So why would
Correct.
you wanna eliminate the data center?
It would place an undue burden on the county.
A water. We don't have
And plus
water.
the noise, you consider the railroad, the banging of the cars, that's every once in a while. Consider that noise 24/7, 365.
Yeah, but if it's, okay.
No, it would just.
The water
broadcast.
alone,
Yeah.
we couldn't support
Yeah.
one.
Well, I
We
mean,
don't have
probably
enough water to draw off of
any
in this
large
area.
commercial building, you're probably not gonna be able to support the water.
And
No, but
plus,
this takes exorbitant amounts of water to run one of these.
they
Okay.
need power in order to run, so that would be another burden on our electrical grid here.
Yeah.
And then what if they have to
True.
build something in order to provide that power?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not a pretty picture.
it's a lot.
Yes.
I just see it as revenue for the county if something massive is out there.
And then you drive away half your population, so you
Yeah.
got no tax base.
And that's what they're facing over, the Billings area that they're looking at putting one in, and they are fit to be tied about it because of all these things are occurring.
It's not a healthy issue.
Mm.
And we have enough of them in the country.
Is there anything else that, do you guys wanna see it zoned as a specific type, do you wanna see it zoned as industrial, commercial,
I would,
agricultural? Do you have a residential, I'm not assuming you don't want it to be residential, maybe you do. Is there a zoning that you are wanting it to be?
and I'm perfectly fine with commercial.
Me too, and there is different, I think you can go with commercial 1 or commercial 2.
There's just one commercial,
Oh, well, what am I thinking of? That's 1 and
residential
2.
one and residential
Oh.
2.
Thank you.
But then again, what would limit us from having a residential area out there?
There already is.
Yeah, but that,
Kinsella's have their subdivision not too far down from there.
If-
but that property alone is zoned as either commercial or residential.
Okay,
Right now, we don't know.
Yep.
So,
Well, with this R piece, but the one right
If
next to
we
it,
do it as
Kinsella's is
commercial.
already residential.
is there an issue if somebody seriously came in and wanted to come in for residential?
yes,
Would we be able to change that?
yeah, you could always change your zoning for your
You
subs,
just have
but
to take it to the zoning board.
Yes.
the zoning board approves it, then you go through the whole
Yes.
process of public notice, public hearing.
Yes.
So that's what you're gonna have to do either way for this one, if it's,
No, first things first, I would like to promote more business. So commercial makes sense to me.
To sell the land,
Yes.
not commercial. And yes, it's a process. It is it's about a 3-month process. We've done it before.
yeah, just
Yes.
slow.
You just gotta go through it, make sure you're doing the process correctly, so you don't have to start it over, because we've had to do that, and it's not fun.
No,
And it's just a timely process, but once it's done, it's done.
It's just a lot of publications, public
No.
notice, public comments, that's all it is.
And again, if we have people coming forward, hey, this is what I want to use it for, that would be the time to.
Is the commission okay with me or the county, I say me because I guess I could take this out of my professional services budget or whatever budget we want to take it out of, to have a title company start the title work essentially so that we know, like, Lexus, this is where I'm looking at maybe your input. Do we want to start that process now? Would that be?
I can call my title, well, we have 2 title companies, I can call Treasure State and Hill County Title and see what they think. They'll talk to me for a little bit, and then if they say, yeah, you should probably start a title search, or no.
Okay.
I believe we have enough in, the commissioner's contract services that we have budgeted. I don't think it would stress that too much,
do.
unless we're looking at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for him to come in and do it, but I don't think it's that much.
It could be, depending on how
Really?
extensive the project is.
Well,
It could
looks
be,
like it's already done.
but no, what they do is they go to the beginning of time for that land. And they do the title
Is that
all
necessary?
the way down. You have to do it for title insurance, yes.
I don't know. That's why it's the, do we want to start it now? If you want it to sell quicker, that would probably be.
What they're looking for is a clean, like a car. You want a clean title. So if there was any tax deeds, like, so if this ever went to a tax deed, that title starts over. So whenever that tax deed was sold to the county, that title starts over.
So this gentleman that sold it to us, or
Gave it to us.
donated to us, yeah,
He's probably didn't-
wouldn't that have been done already?
No,
I
it's
thought there
usually
was a
done when you get a
title with
mortgage. So whoever's, either if they're paying cash for it, but you wanna probably prove that.
And so what, I guess,
We did.
one way you could look at it, and I'm assuming we can do this, is when you talk about the price of the land. So if we did the title search to make sure that there is no issue with this title, that it's zoned the way we want it to be, that all of that's done, whatever that cost is, let's say it costs $20,000, it costs $50,000. I guess my advice would be, then we build that into the cost of the land.
Yeah,
So
and
we
honestly,
say-
I don't know how much it's gonna cost, cause when I mean, my house, they did it, but it wasn't very, my house was like $2,000.
So,
Okay, so,
oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say, my suggestion would be build it into the cost of the land.
so I'm looking at this ordinance and it shows that it's amended. So my question is, can we just go in and amend this zone?
No, you have to go to your zoning board.
Then how did they amend it?
What year was that?
I mean, it had to been amended. This one's from 2014.
Is that, can I see that?
So, and it is recorded with you already.
It is recorded.
The 123 and a half. Is it 14-106? Yeah.
So I'm just questioning that.
You have to pass a resolution once you change the ordinance. Yeah,
Or amended, yeah.
yeah, so it has to go to the zoning board, so you still have to go through the right steps. It's just like going through and doing a road petition. You gotta still do all that work and then the resolution gets, or the ordinance.
I'm not questioning that, I'm just saying, can we go this route, or do we have to go through the title company and do all this over again?
The title company is gonna do a title search on the, so the deed of the land,
Yeah.
not any of the ordinances.
None of the zoning. They're not,
No.
title company isn't looking at zoning.
No,
They're looking at ownership of land.
but if someone pulls a mortgage on it, so like if I wanted to buy that land, but I had to pull a mortgage, I have to have title insurance to be able to get any type of insurance on my house, on the property, and to be able to pull a mortgage against the property. It's a requirement, so then they do your title work. So,
And it does sound like we'd have to amend the growth policy, but that's stated in their minutes too, that they had amended it. I guess if we change the zone, we'd have to go back and amend it again somewhere. It does have roads in there, but they're just,
Just 2 tracks.
you can drive around there. I drove in there last summer.
you can, but there's rules and regulations for roads, for how big they have to be, for different zoning. There's rules for everything.
There's power in there already, there's water.
3-phase
wells.
power, natural gas.
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty much ready to go.
There's
It's
2
not-
water wells.
Yep. So that was my question, Lacey, was if we could do that, but
There,
I guess
yes, but as you can probably tell by the discussion we're all having,
the title.
it's just complicated because we can do it. It's just a lot of moving parts, and it's which part has to come first. But really, the first part is, what does the commission want to do with the land? Now that I know you guys are looking more into the sale of it, then it becomes, okay, how do we make this land sellable and attractive to people who want to purchase it? And is that changing, that the county goes through the process of changing the zoning rather than letting somebody else?
Have to do
how do we go about getting these covenants removed, if that's what you guys want. But you guys are the ones that have to direct me that you want those things removed, that you don't want to maintain them. And what I'm hearing today is that you guys do want the covenants removed, but are there other covenants that you want this land restrict? It sounds like you do want at least a restriction on it for, again, like as you said, the data center, so I don't know how, I don't know how those restrictions work. I would have to go look to figure out what is passing constitutional muster for land restrictions with data centers.
Yeah.
And since that's the hot topic right now, I don't know that I'm gonna find a clear answer. I will try, but I can't guarantee that
No.
that's gonna be a really clear answer. Because, as you said, you can see what's going on in Yellowstone County.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's probably where it's gonna come from, so we won't know. But it at least gives us a place to start.
So I think it would be a good idea to go ahead and start this title work, start getting that going. So like you said, it's more favorable that we can start going forward on selling the property if possible.
Okay.
And then you're gonna look into the side of the covenants kind of part, the restrictions of the data centers and that kind of information, correct?
Senate Bill 212, it's the Right to Compute Act that was signed in April of 2025. That talks about the restrictions and the ability or the not ability to restrict data centers.
But never forget, we're going into another legislative session here in January.
Correct.
But, I mean, this is what current,
Yeah, no, that's the current,
Was.
but that's what I'm always hesitant at this time, like, especially this time of year, because you're like, there's a lot of uncertainty. Depending on how November elections come out, that could change the way things look in the legislature next year, which could greatly impact the way. Things.
sounds like Governor Gene Forte is very strongly supports data centers and refuses to sign bills in regards to banning data centers.
So, just,
And he's not up until, he's not on this election. He's a non.
So if we go commercial and zone it commercial, then industrial couldn't come in there anyways. And, I mean, that would be too big.
Data centers are commercial.
Wouldn't that be considered industrial?
Mm-mm.
I don't think so, I think they're considered commercial.
Yes, data centers are considered commercial buildings.
So,
We need to look into it again.
Industrial
Yes.
doesn't allow data centers to go in because of the noise and the hazards and the materials and the picking up of the dust is what our
And
county
Doug-
policy states. But you go commercial, that is a commercial building.
But
So-
I have a much better feeling that the neighbors are not gonna want industrial in that bond.
Oh, we have farms out there and, yeah, everything.
Yeah, but
Cattle.
if we zone it commercial, and I mean, we can put a backstop for the growth plan, for the zoning committee. It's there's other ways to make sure that,
I don't know if there is because there's a right to compute act. So,
there's always ways.
yes, there is ways.
It's just not gonna be
Correct.
a way that is probably quickly and easily found.
Yeah.
To do this. We'll try, we'll see what we can come up with.
And again, if we have local buyers, I'd much rather have somebody local come in, develop the area.
We'll see what can be done. I will get the water contract land lease to you. Like I said, as you can probably tell, this industrial park, the agro-industrial park is just gonna be, it's a beast.
Yes.
And I know we have people interested in it, but we wanna make sure that what we're selling to them is something that they can use the land in the way that everybody hopes that it gets used.
Yes.
All right, anything else you guys wanna talk about? Was there anything else on the list?
This was quite the ride already, so.
Okay. I know we've been going for about 2 hours,
No,
so
yeah.
that's a long meeting.
we're good to stop the recording?
Do you have any more? Lacey, anything else to add?
This thing is just touching on something that was brought up, I think it was in your working session yesterday, might have been the business meeting on Thursday, I don't remember, where the fair wanted to sell a tarp.
It was a business meeting.
It was a business meeting.
Yeah.
The only restriction is if it's over $2,500. So I don't know what the value of this tarp is.
Yeah.
If it's under 25, what you guys suggested is fine. If it's over 25, it actually has to go through a specific process. So if it's over 2,500,
I don't see them selling it for that.
I don't see them selling, but I don't know. I was like, it's a tarp. And I don't know how expensive or non-expensive tarps are when it comes to covering things.
Yeah.
So
The product of itself cannot be over 2,500, or they can't sell it for 2,500.
So if the value of it is over 2,500,
Value.
Okay.
so
This was,
I don't know. I mean, if it's something they purchased for $50,000 and only used for a year, I don't think it was that. But like,
There's no
Yes.
leeway for devaluation because this is
it depreciates.
it depreciates. Yes, that's why it's
It's
not
a-
going to go on that original value. It'll go on the value of it
Yes.
Currently.
as it currently exists. And that
Correct.
value, if that value is under $2,500, you're
Yeah.
fine.
Frank said it's been there since he was a child.
Okay, then it's again. I don't know how to value. I'm not a tarp valuer.
He said it has holes. I didn't ask how much he was trying to sell it for,
So
but he can't technically sell it for more than $2,500.
right.
So
Okay.
that is
If
That's
it's
a
something
concern.
that's valued more than $2,500, it has to go through, I believe, an auction process.
okay.
Oh, yay.
Under 2,500, they can just sell it.
Okay.
If I remember the.
Frank called for one of you guys. He didn't
So-
say who.
Okay.
In regards to that incident form.
Okay,
So maybe whoever called him
good to
can
know.
talk to him about that, dude.
That's why with the cars, when we're like, well, they could be $2,500, you have to go through the whole bidding process. Because then, I know we sold them for less than that, but because they're potentially valued at more, we have to go through it. Okay, I don't have anything else.
Meeting
Meeting adjourned.